Go, go, go! Let's do this.
I'm going to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout and all of the information we know so far via the rumors. Now just keep in mind that these are rumors and not factual information. A lot of times though, we've seen over the years that some of these rumors, although they're, people are like, oh, they're just rumors, tend to turn out to be actual true. Now not everything that we hear is true, but sometimes, depending on the source, these rumors are actually information, and I don't know how they leak. Some people have the conspiracy that the developers leak them, but nonetheless, here we are. Here's what we know so far via rumors for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout, the Battle Royale mode. So this isn't really a rumor, it's actually known, and they stated this. They said it's their largest map. But they're going to be focusing on verticality. That's the rumor, and we've seen this really in the trailer that they showed where it's land, air, and sea, and they have the helicopters and everything like that, and that central building which is super, super tall. Haven't seen anything really like that in either Fortnite or PUBG. I know they have more verticality in Fortnite, but that building in that trailer was monstrously tall. That could have just been a deployment position though, not necessarily that everything's gonna be super vertical like that. Again, rumors, I don't know how I feel about that. I probably wouldn't want too much verticality. I know actually they have that even in PUBG in the towns, what is it, Miramar, the desert one where they have really tall buildings and everything like that. I get that there's some verticality in there, but this looked like really crazy high up where you could deploy a parachute and go really far off. Who knows, but if they're going for verticality, I think there's gonna be more camping. I'm not sure how I feel about adding that sort of massive buildings in there. It's more like a hunt, like a rat race, hunting for a needle in a haystack sort of thing. So hopefully they get that balance right. I don't really care. As long as it's done right, I don't really care if it's on the ground, vertical, whatever the case may be. They're gonna be aiming for at least 50 players. Now, there was a separate leak that is unrelated to where I got this information from, showing that the actual Blackout mode was gonna be 60 players. Now, that's on speculation that it's saying network is showing between 2 to 60 players, showing 60 as the max. And if they're gonna show 60 at the max, one would assume that that is relating, since it's a monster number in terms of Call of Duty numbers, it's a fairly substantially high number, that's gonna reflect what the Battle Royale is. 60 and not necessarily 50, but certainly not at the same level that Fortnite and PUBG is, which is currently at 100. I don't know how you feel about that. Personally, I think 60 is fine. If 60 is gonna be pushing the boundaries of what Call of Duty has done with their maps, Ground War, we see lag. I had some concerns, and I've said this before, and I've voiced these concerns on social media and Twitter, that, even at 60, is substantially larger than any amount of people that they've ever had on a Call of Duty map. I know this is a giant map, and who knows how they do it, but we've never really seen them push the boundaries like this. So in terms of their netcode, hit detection, and all that other stuff, they're gonna have to be really on point, because we've never seen the Call of Duty engine used in this manner. So this is really going to be pushing boundaries for Activision, Call of Duty, or especially Treyarch. And I'm glad Treyarch, I'm glad Treyarch is the one doing this and paving the way, because of all the studios, I'm just saying, and I know a lot of you guys agree, not necessarily 100%, but I think we can all agree that Treyarch is probably the best studio right now to be attempting such a feat. And honestly, do we need 100 people? Let's face it, in Fortnite and in PUBG, when there's 100 people, first of all, it's a bit laggy. And I'm talking more in PUBG and everything like that, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, sorry if I'm saying it. You're like, what's PUBG? What's PUBG? PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the Battle Royale. And in the first 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes at max, you're watching that number from 100 go down to 50. You're talking about half of the entire player base eliminated, destroyed in the first 5 minutes. If that. I've seen matches where it's 2 to 3 minutes and we're already down to 50 out of 100. Which to me, if that's the case, it's just a cluster. It's just a bunch of whole, skilled players mixed with people that are like, I'm gonna go where all the other people are, and all the excitement is, and dead. And dead, and dead. And it's just giving all these amazing excessive kills to the skilled players. I think that 60 is probably, for a map that's slightly bigger than Fortnite, but not as big as some of the maps in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I think 60 is probably a good mix. And it's not necessarily going to be just this cluster where everyone dies at the same rate as we're seeing in Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Health is going to be 150 hit points, replenished with medical kits. The armor, which you're going to be able to get, is going to allow for 1 extra shot, but armor-piercing rounds are going to be counter to the armor. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, because Call of Duty's like, you know what, we're going to do it our own way, I was kind of hoping, in all honesty, other than the armor, which I think is, kind of an integral part. It's the same as the shield in Fortnite, same as, getting the helmet and the ballistics vest or whatever in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I was kind of hoping for more of a Call of Duty-ish type of maneuver where you get the auto regen, just like in multiplayer. I know some of you were like, oh, that would be OP. Not really, man. Even with auto, health regen in Call of Duty, if you play deathmatch, the kills just keep on flying. Whether it's regenning or not, people die fast. And if the same type of hit detection and number of bullets and how fast it is to kill an opponent is kind of reflected in the Battle Royale mode as it is in multiplayer, then auto regen's not really going to have that big of an impact. And I think, honestly, it would make it very distinct, and I don't think it would take away from the fun of the game. I think if you're getting shot at and you could duck around, maybe you lose all of your armor, that goes first, but once that's gone, and remember, they're saying that it only takes an extra hit. The armor only allows you to take 1 extra hit. I would love to see an auto regen Battle Royale. You want to make it different from PUBG and Fortnite? That's a perfect way, and it's more in line with Call of Duty. It'll be more familiar with Call of Duty gamers. Personally, I think this whole, have to get med kits and everything is not what Call of Duty is, and I was kind of thinking they were going to go the other direction, but that's just my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. And we've also got limited inventory slots, just as normal in Battle Royale. You can't just have, unlimited of everything. Now, in terms of loot, the weapon loot is going to be based on rarity, and I think that's kind of more in line with Fortnite. You have your elite versus your subpar stuff. You're going to be able to find really good weapons versus not so good weapons, but variants of it. So like if you came across, say, an M4, there's going to be an M4 Elite and an M4 Standard, and the Elite's going to allow for more attachments or better attachments. That's what the rumor is so far in terms of the rarity of the weapons. They're going to be adding the RCXD car without explosives. At least that's based on the rumor right now. And at first I was like, well, what's the point of that? But you know what? Having an RC car with the camera would be an incredibly helpful thing for searching buildings. If you came across that and you're like, listen, I'm going to go in here, because how many people crouch and hang in a corner? If you see that, you're going to distract them. You're going to be able to have intel going in there. I think it's a counter camper type move. And if anything, I think that's a good thing. It's going to allow you to go in there, look for people that are camping in buildings and know exactly where they are. They're going to know that you know where they are, and it's going to change the dynamics. I think it's a good thing, personally. No explosives, though. That's way too OP. Now, as far as we know, players are going to be parachuting into the map, but it said that the spawning may be similar to Call of Duty Online. Now, I have to plead ignorance in this. I tried looking it up. I tried watching videos, but they're all highly edited, and they're all like, oh, the normal, like, YouTube kind of mess. And I couldn't see what they were talking about. I've never played Call of Duty Online, so I don't know what the spawning is. If any of you actually know what that is, by all means, please let me know in the comments below how that works. Or hit us up on Twitter, the You Always Win Twitter, and explain there, or give a link to something that shows that, because I'm kind of like in the dark here. I don't know what that means. The spawning, like I said before, I thought based on the trailer that the spawning would have been like in that centralized super mega tall building, and everyone jumps off and parachutes to where they're going. I don't know if that's the case. We have no idea. We will find out very soon in the beta, hopefully, and we'll find out there whether or not it's the traditional. Again, if Call of Duty is going to do something unique, don't just do the same thing where it's going across the board and everyone's jumping out. Fortnite's already doing that, PUBG's already doing that. Do something unique. I don't care if it's going to be random spawns where they just randomly spawn you in like they would in a multiplayer map, if you're doing free-for-all, or if it's going to be that centralized thing. I don't know what it is. I just want to see something unique and different. You know what I mean? We're seeing this Battle Royale. Just because it's a Battle Royale doesn't mean it has to just be another copycat of PUBG or Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like just making those improvements. Let's make something different, a little bit unique. Roll the dice and see what happens, Call of Duty. Anyway, that's it. Those are the rumors so far for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout, the Battle Royale mode coming very, very soon. I'm super excited about this. I know I'm like you're super stoked. I actually am very excited because I don't just think this is, you know, it's like, oh, okay, it's another Battle Royale. I think what Call of Duty and Treyarch is doing in this mode here is they're pushing the boundaries of what they normally do in Call of Duty in terms of how many players, what type of maps they have. I think this is something very good for the franchise and is going to open up other doors, but that may be for a different video. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, what you think is good, what you think is bad. What do you want in terms of spawn? Do you think that an auto regen health is a good thing, bad thing? I know some of you are like, no way, that would be OP or blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'd like to know your thoughts for this as well. Remember, if you leave a comment, opinion in here, it may be chosen for the You Always Win podcast, which is on Fridays with Meatwagon, Chris, or Chris as some of you know him, and myself as well. So remember to leave your comments, questions, opinions, all of that good stuff in the comments below, and see you guys later.